I want to stop diabetes because it affects too many people and it can sometimes ruin people's lives because they can't do certain things or they get made fun of, and because it sucks.
A wise man once said that if you want to forget your own troubles, think about the troubles of others. And it's really true when you see what some of these kids go through, especially. I just, you almost can't talk about it.
I want to stop diabetes because there's so many people affected by it.
There is so much diabetes, there's so much incidence, there's all over the world and also in the United States, that I'm sure you can see that every person you talk to has an immediate family member who has diabetes now.
I got diagnosed on it was a very tragic moment. My mom and dad just celebrated their anniversary. They took me to the hospital as soon as possible. My sisters were sent to my grandma's house, and it was a very stressful day.
The call to action for me on a personal basis was close friends and my own family being affected by this as well. I look to the future. I have 2 young children that are 4 and 2 years old. I think about 1 in 3 children that are going to be impacted by this. I think about one out of every 2 in the African American or Latino community, and I just think that it's critical that we help those children, and we do it today.
Even those of us who are educated in it, who really try to have tight control, can be thrown for a loop very quickly. So when a family member is struck by this, the whole family needs to be aware of what's going on, what's the possibility, and what do we do?
You need to know, number one, that you have the disease, because about 1/3 of all Americans with diabetes don't even know they have the disease, and if you don't know it, you can't take care of it. You might not be eating the right foods, getting the right exercise, counting the carbohydrates, or being conscious of what you need to do to take care of yourself.
It's a way of trying to live with this disease day in and day out. The highs, the lows, the medications, and how you eat, how you live, how you walk, how you exercise, how you think about this disease. And that's an amazingly challenging problem. There's no other disease that really affects a person like that. Then, even if you talk about a disease like, say, cancer, I think cancer is a bad disease to have, but it's a disease for which there's a finite time that you have. Maybe you get better, or it affects everybody. I'm not minimizing this portion, but this is a disease that goes on for years of a patient's life.
There is no vacation from diabetes, so it's not like you can say, I got a great medical report, I'm going to go out and eat 4 banana splits. So you have to always be conscious of it. It's nothing that you can slide from.
Amputations of limbs, kidney disease, neurological problems insofar as not being able to feel things in their limbs, and it really does quite a lot of damage to the individual. People with diabetes have a much higher rate of getting coronary artery disease, having strokes, having high blood pressure, and all those other bad things happening to them. So if you really don't really address this issue, you're opening yourself up for some tremendous big problems, particularly across a population that really is extremely vulnerable, and that's why we're concerned about that.
Healthcare organizations are going to want to start to partner with the human resource departments of major corporations to really, in effect, improve the lives of the employees. And that's where the ADA can come in, because they have some great opportunities of going in and really educating people about diabetes, the complications, and how to improve outcomes.
certainly devastating for anyone to be diagnosed with a chronic illness. But also, every one of my siblings has been diagnosed with it, and I lost a sibling. She was 57, my oldest sister. You know, and a lot of that is an education piece.
The amount of time and energy and effort it takes to take care of this, it is truly all of the time.
What I've learned is it's an absolute epidemic. So if you think about it, probably 1 in 10 people today already have it. And as we look at it, this is a generational impact for us. By the time that the children being born in this decade grow up, 1 in 3 will be diagnosed with diabetes. It is critical that we look and find ways to stop diabetes.
It's extremely costly to our society too, in terms of health insurance costs. You've got costs at the home site insofar as time lost from work, disability issues. It's really just not a really good thing to have for our society, period.
We're just contributing to the obesity epidemic. And now, not only are you seeing diabetes, which used to be, let's talk about type 2, something that presented itself in a 60 or 70-year-old person, you've got people that are in their 30s and 40s presenting with type 2 diabetes, and now the youth. And that's really, really scary. So we've got to just get the education out there about the soda and the processed foods, so that, somebody that's 10 years old isn't dealing with type 2 diabetes at the age of 20.
So when you look at it at the individual level, it's got some huge ramifications because it does affect people's lifestyles and livelihoods. At a societal level, it's got a huge impact in terms of productivity and really just the overall general well-being of our society.
We don't want to be top of mind and household word anymore. And unfortunately, that's the case, and the research shows it's the case for the future as well, unless the dollars that we raise put the brakes on that.
The more people step out and educate the public, educate themselves, research, raise money, every single penny helps.
What would you say if we found a cure for diabetes?
I would say, thank you!